Thank you, Pastor Taylor. Number 17. He's keeping count, yeah.
He is. He's keeping up with it.
I'm almost impressed. Yeah, I got the right number correctly. Yeah.
Hey, this
All
is
right,
true.
folks.
We got the whole
Yeah,
family
number
here.
17, Diabetes Part 4. This is a mini-series because diabetes and COVID-19, really those two together is an unholy interaction marriage, all right?
Yeah.
So let's go with our disclaimer at this time. So the information presented in this presentation is not to diagnose, prescribe, or treat, but to educate only. We advise that you consult with your primary care physician before incorporating any complementary, sometimes known as integrative, and or lifestyle alternative medicine. Now, before we go to our next graphic, let's give a quick review of what we talked about up until this point about carbohydrates. So let's talk about the first carbohydrate, honey, quickly.
The first one we talked about was, of course, the simple.
Simple.
And we identify that as the one that has the fruit and the non-starchy vegetables, which means it has no starch once it's cooked or steamed in the pot.
So that's simple. Well, fruit,
That's a
and
simple,
that's the
simple,
first
simple.
really food group mentioned in the Bible, Genesis 1:29. All right.
And 318 is the next one.
Okay, the next one is
we
what,
talked
honey?
about the complex carbohydrates.
Complex.
And this is the one we talk about the whole grain. We're talking about the legumes. We're talking about the bean kingdom, which is the legume kingdom itself. And we're really looking at now those foods that have a longer staying power.
Okay, yeah.
But I know, but they're saying, so what is number 3?
What is number 3?
Number 3.
You have no idea.
They don't have any idea.
We do have an
Number
idea.
3 is?
It is, let's turn the page. Here we go, folks. It is refined carbohydrates. Refined. Here it is, statement. Insulin resistance is associated with refined carbohydrate consumption. In other words, the body's producing insulin, but it's resisting it.
Yeah.
Hence, it's called insulin resistant. Now, we have 2 groups of refined carbohydrates.
Okay.
The one on the left is refined carbohydrates, white bread, white rice, pasta, etc. The group on the right is called ultra
Oh, my goodness.
refined.
Ultra.
I mean, that's worse than the group on the left.
Now, does that mean, now we're looking at that. I know they're listening, and they're listening.
Yeah,
they're
they're
like,
listening.
Does that mean I can't ever
Not
have
ever,
any of these?
not ever, but
Ever.
ever. That's
Ever.
even longer than
Can I
ever.
can't
Ever.
ever.
Yeah,
Okay,
ever.
okay.
Okay, yeah.
Unpack
So,
it.
yeah, I mean, every now and then, Christmas parties or anniversary, but if you eat these foods on a regular basis, then we have a problem with this as well. Let's turn the page. We have an animation on this, and let's see how white bread is made. I want us to meet not the lieutenant, not the corporal, not the sergeant. Let's meet the colonel. So wheat bread goes through the steel mill. It's refined. During the refining process, it's removed the bran and the germ. So what's left is the endosperm. So during the refining process, all these ingredients that's in the bran and the germ, they're being removed when that refined process is done. So basically, white bread is simply wheat kernel with all the ingredients simply eliminated. And got the nerve to put enriched.
So enriched is like?
So if I rob you of $50, but I gave you back 10, do you feel enriched or robbed?
I'm definitely robbed.
Yeah, because you still showed us $40. Yeah, because But see, the thing about it is that this is simply a good business move because white bread stays on the shelf longer. It's not as rancid, better in transportation, but it's ill to our health as far as that's concerned. So therefore, that's why they have the beriberi and other diseases. They put back some of the ingredients, but not all of it. So that's where you get the all-purpose white flour that enrich the spongy, soft portion of the flour. Now, so therefore, let's turn the page because now, honey, let's look at this because we have a graphic. Let's explain this, refined versus simple and
I guess
complex.
the best way to explain this is that, let's say you go to your office.
Okay.
And you got a bad attitude because you haven't had any breakfast.
Bad attitude.
So anybody bothering with you, you got something to say to them.
Okay.
But you
And it's
heard
not
at
nice.
10 o'clock there is cake and cookies and pie in the break room.
Oh, that's ultra.
So you
that's ultra refined.
ultra.
Yeah,
So you go to the break room and you just scoff it down.
Scarf it down.
Within 30 minutes, you are on a real high. You got this spike.
Look at that.
Ooh,
Refined
you're feeling really
carbohydrates
good
is
and
like in
everything.
30 minutes it peaks.
Yeah. You
30
got
minutes.
a better attitude. But before you get back to your office, you
So
got
the
the
greater
attitude
the
again.
spike,
Look
the
at that,
greater the
look
drop.
at that. It drops in a few minutes after you've actually taken it in. But look at the complex, look at the simple, and notice how you had that even.
It
we
doesn't
call it
peak as
even.
high.
It doesn't go as high, and it stays longer in the system. So therefore, you're feeling fuller longer.
There you go.
And it's better for the sugar levels in the body.
You are so smart. You're doing a
Okay,
wonderful
so let's
job.
turn that page. Let's
You just
turn
totally
that page.
ignore me.
Okay,
So let's go ahead and
turn
turn the
that
page.
page.
So let's talk about this because here's the question. What's the question that we
They
get often,
say,
honey?
Isn't sugar diabetes because you eat a lot of sugar?
So does
Explain
sugar
that.
cause diabetes?
Sugar, that's right.
Yes or no?
That's right.
Okay, that's
Well,
right.
no,
Well, that's
let's
wrong because
answer
look
that.
at the graphic.
Okay.
See, first, glucose, blood sugar in the bloodstream.
Right.
It needs to go into the door of the cell.
Yes.
What's blocking that door is refined carbohydrates and fat.
Whoa.
That keeps the door closed, so
Whoa.
glucose, blood sugar remains on the outside. That's what causes diabetes, refined carbohydrates and fat.
So that fat is coating the cell so that the sugar and the fat is keeping that
And
glucose
can't
from
get
going
into the
inside.
cell for energy.
Okay, so what else can be a problem
Well,
here?
now, let's turn the page because it gets even worse. Here's another problem, folks. Oh, my goodness.
Oh.
Okay, this guy's belly, he has to have a wheelchair to cover his belly.
Mercy.
Here it is. Refined carbohydrates is a risk factor for insulin resistance independent of belly fat. So the more refined carbohydrates we take in the ultra, it goes right here, belly fat.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, Curtis, can it get any worse than this? I mean, come on.
Well, now, that's the good news.
Good news.
The bad news is the next page. Here it is. Now, this is taken directly from Medical Journal.
Okay.
Here's a new term, carbotoxicity.
Okay.
All right? Noxious effects of refined carbohydrates. So this is the main driver of obesity.
Okay.
We're talking about diabetes.
Okay.
All right? Alabama's in the diabetes belt.
Right.
Therefore, Alabama has the second highest rate of diabetes in the entire country, 14.6%.
Alabama.
Only one state has higher than Alabama.
Okay.
In addition to diabetes, you have accelerated aging, hypertension, and fatty liver. Again, carbohydrates. And when you have diabetes with COVID-19, it's a double whammy. It's a double whammy.
Okay.
So, folks,
Okay.
I don't know. We have, 2 minutes? You know what? We talked a whole lot about this, honey.
Yes.
Maybe we need to have someone else talk in our place and see what they have to say about this topic. And so, what do you think? You think that'd be a good idea?
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, so let's somebody talk in our place from her own words. Let's turn the page and see what she has to say at this time. This is our grandmother. Let's run the tape.
Not when you get old and have no pleasure in this life. But now is the time that you can help and do things for others and also to help your own self. That you should eat right and stay away from the junk food because your body is made out of what you eat and you drink. And the Lord made your body and He knows what should be in it. And I think you should stick to that and not just eat a lot of junk food and drink a lot of things that you shouldn't drink. But just eat for health and not for taste.
Okay, so therefore, junk food, now of course we said carbohydrates, refined. She said junk food is one and the same in a person who lived up to be 110 years old.
Mercy, mercy,
All
mercy.
right.
Yes, yes.
Simple, complex carbohydrates.
So we end with this one.
John 10:10. Jesus said, I come, that they might have life and have it more abundantly.